So you look at massive success, right? Like
Huh.
that founder who cashes out for billions or the investor who just seems to nail it year after year. Our first reaction is always, wow, pure genius.
It is, isn't it? We instinctively connect those results to, well, skill and hard work. It's a really comforting idea.
Because it makes it seem controllable. Like if we just work that hard or if we're that smart, we can get there too.
Exactly. But what if that whole narrative? What if it's fundamentally flawed? That's what we're digging into today with Nassim Nicholas Taleb's book, Fooled by Randomness.
Ah, yes. Such a game-changing book.
It really is. His core argument is that maybe the biggest factor behind these huge successes isn't skill at all, but something we prefer to ignore. Just pure dumb luck.
Okay.
Chaos, basically.
That's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people.
Well,
Well, it's humbling, right? To accept the power of just random chance.
definitely. So our mission today is really to unpack Taleb's main idea. Why our brains seem almost designed to mistake luck for skill. And maybe how we can get a bit smarter about operating in a world that's, frankly, way more random than we like to admit.
Yeah, because we hate randomness. We want neat patterns, neat explanations.
We crave order. So we invent these stories, these explanations, to make ourselves feel secure, even when maybe there's no real reason behind it.
Okay, so let's make this concrete. Taleb has this brilliant, almost deceptively simple thought experiment to show this illusion of skill, the coin flipping analogy.
Oh, it's perfect. It cuts right to the heart of it. So imagine this giant stadium, okay,
Yeah.
packed with, say, 10,000 people. Everyone gets a coin.
And they're all going to try and flip heads. That's the strategy. Simple enough.
Right. So first flip, what happens?
Well, statistically, about half get tails, so 5,000 people are out. Failed. Go home.
Exactly. Now the 5,000 winners flip again. Same
Yeah.
deal. About half fail. So now we're down to roughly 2,500 people who got two heads in a row.
And you just keep doing this. Keep having the pool of winners.
Keep going. Flip 3, 4, 5 times. By the time you get to, say, 10 flips in a row.
You're going to be left with a very small number of people. Math says about 10.
Right.
10 people out of the original 10,000 who somehow flipped 10 heads consecutively.
10 heads in a row. Statistically, it had to happen with that many people starting. But for those 10 individuals,
Yeah.
it feels miraculous.
And here's Taleb's punchline, the trap. What do we as a society do with those 10 people?
Oh, immediately, they're heroes. We'd have them on TV, magazine covers.
We'd be asking, what's your secret? What's your technique, your mindset? We'd analyze their coin flipping stance.
We'd call them geniuses of probability, masters of the coin flip.
When in reality,
They just got lucky. Their
Yeah.
success wasn't about skill. It was purely a result of the starting pool size. It was statistically bound to happen to someone.
and Taleb's point is, this is exactly what happens in finance, in business, everywhere. We see the handful of survivors from a huge random process.
And we call them masters. We ignore the thousands, maybe millions, who used the exact same strategies, took the same risks, and just failed, went bust.
So we're constantly mistaking the lucky survivor for the skilled operator. And Taleb says there are specific mental traps, kind of like cognitive biases, that make us do this.
That's right. He lays out a few key ways we get fooled. The first one ties directly back to that coin flip example. It's called survivorship bias.
Right. The winners write history, basically. We only hear from the ones who made it.
Exactly. The successful companies, the investors who hit it big, the funds with amazing track records, their stories are everywhere.
But the failures, the 9,990 people who flipped tails on the first or second try.
They're silent. They're in what Taleb calls the graveyard. And because we don't see the graveyard, we don't account for it.
Which totally distorts our perception of reality. We see the few winners, assume their path is the path to success.
Completely missing that for every winner, there were maybe hundreds or thousands who took that exact same path and ended up nowhere. Or worse. It makes strategies look far more reliable than they actually are.
Okay, so that's survivorship bias. We ignore the failures, but then, even when we are one of the survivors, we do something else, don't we? We start spinning a yarn about why we succeeded.
Ah, yes, the narrative fallacy. This is about our deep-seated need for stories, for explanations. We just can't stand the idea that things might happen for no particular reason. We need a why.
You see this constantly with, like, market commentary. The stock market goes up 1%. The next day's headline reads,
Market rallies on renewed investor confidence in tech sector.
Yeah.
Or something plausible sounding like that.
right, but if it drops 1% the next day,
Then it's fears over inflation prompt widespread sellout.
it always sounds so logical, so definitive after the fact.
Always. But Taleb's point is sharp here. Often these are just narratives we construct afterwards to make random fluctuations, just noise, feel predictable and understandable.
We're basically trying to impose order on chaos to feel like we're in control.
Precisely. It gives us this illusion of understanding, this false sense of security about the future based on a story we made up about the past.
And that reliance on past patterns, that sort of misplaced confidence built on narrative, that leads us straight into another major trap, especially for thinking about risk. He calls it the turkey problem.
Oh, the turkey analogy. It's so vivid because it hits right at our tendency to trust historical data too much. So picture this turkey, right?
Okay.
For 1,000 days straight, this friendly farmer comes out, gives it food, water, takes care of it. Every single day reinforces the turkey's belief system.
Day after day, more data points. The farmer is reliable, life is good, the future looks predictable based on the past.
The turkey's confidence is soaring. It might even develop complex statistical models proving the farmer's benevolence with like 99.9% certainty based on 1,000 days of evidence.
Seems pretty solid based on the data.
Until day 1001 arrives, which happens to be
The day before Thanksgiving.
exactly. And in one single unexpected event, the turkey's entire model of the world, built on all that past data, is proven catastrophically, fatally wrong.
Ouch. That's the danger of relying only on the past to predict the future. Past performance is no guarantee of future results, as they say.
It's worse than no guarantee. The past can actively mislead you if you don't account for the possibility of things happening that have never happened before in your data set.
And that rare, unexpected event, the Thanksgiving for the turkey, that's what Taleb famously calls a black swan, right?
Yeah.
The highly improbable event that has massive consequences.
That's the one. The event that comes out of nowhere, completely outside our normal expectations based on history, and changes everything. Think about major market crashes, pandemics, technological disruptions.
Things that models based purely on past averages just don't see coming.
Exactly. So this brings up a huge question. If the world is so full of randomness, if black swans can upend everything, are we just stuck,
Yeah.
helpless?
Yeah, is the message just despair? Like it's all luck, so why bother?
No, not at all. That's really important. Taleb's message isn't about resignation. It's actually about becoming smarter, more realistic, maybe more humble, and definitely more robust in how we navigate this uncertain world.
Okay, so what can we actually do? What are the practical takeaways?
Well, the first one is pretty direct. Develop a healthy skepticism towards forecasters, especially those claiming they can predict the future of complex random systems like the economy or the stock market.
Be wary of the gurus.
Be very wary. History is just littered with their failed predictions. We tend to remember the one lucky call and forget the 99 misses. Recognize the limits of prediction when faced with genuine randomness.
Okay, be skeptical of forecasts. What else? This next one feels really key.
It is. It's a fundamental shift in how you evaluate decisions. Taleb insists we need to focus on the process, not just the outcome.
That's hard though, isn't it? Because the outcome is what's real. If I make money, I feel like I made a good decision. If I lose money, I feel like I messed up.
We're wired that way. But think back to the coin flips. Someone could make a completely reckless bet, say, betting their life savings on a single flip, and win purely by luck. Great outcome, terrible process.
Right. And the opposite is also true.
Absolutely. You could do meticulous research, have a really sound, logical investment strategy, consider all the known risks, and still get wiped out by a completely unforeseen event, a black swan. Bad outcome, but potentially a good process.
So judging only by the result teaches us the wrong lessons. We might repeat bad processes that got lucky or abandon good processes that got unlucky.
Exactly. The goal should be to develop and stick to a sound decision-making process, one that's logical, considers possibilities, acknowledges uncertainty, rather than just chasing or judging based on single outcomes. Is your method robust?
Which requires something else Taleb emphasizes, something that maybe doesn't come naturally to successful people.
Intellectual humility, yeah, that's huge. The power, the strength to simply say, I don't know.
To acknowledge the role that luck, that chance, might have played in your own successes and definitely will play in the future.
It makes you wiser, paradoxically. Admitting you don't know everything, admitting the world is partly random, stops you from getting overconfident and taking those potentially catastrophic risks based on hubris.
Which leads directly to the ultimate survival strategy in Taleb's world. Protect your downside. Build in robustness.
Yes, if you accept that you can't predict the catastrophic black swan events, the only rational move is to make sure you can survive them when they happen.
How does that look practically?
Well, in finance, it's obvious. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Hmm.
Don't make bets that can wipe you out completely if they go wrong. Diversify. Maybe hold some safe assets.
And in life more generally.
Avoid situations where a single failure, a single mistake, or just one run of bad luck can ruin everything. Have backups. Have resilience. Don't build your life like that turkey, assuming the good times will roll on forever exactly as they have before. Be prepared for shocks.
Build systems, personal or financial, that can withstand the unexpected. Be robust, not just optimized for the average day.
That's the core idea. Optimization can make you fragile. Robustness helps you endure.
Wow. So, fooled by randomness really is like a bracing splash of cold water, isn't it? It
Yeah.
forces you to reconsider how much control we actually have and how much the stories we tell about success and skill are just, well, stories.
It challenges that deep-seated belief that the world is neat and predictable and that success is purely a matter of merit. It reveals a world that's far more chaotic, far more random than our pattern-seeking brains want it to be.
But again, not in a paralyzing way, more in a be smarter, be humbler, be prepared kind of way.
Exactly. Appreciate skill and hard work, absolutely. They
Oh.
matter. But always keep in the back of your mind that the line between the celebrated genius and the forgotten failure might just be a few lucky breaks, the right timing, or, how the coin landed.
So, maybe a final thought for everyone listening, something to chew on from all this. When you look at your own life, your career, your successes and failures, how much of that narrative can you genuinely attribute to your skill and effort?
And how much might just be down to pure, beautiful, terrifying, random chance? Something to reflect on.
Definitely something to reflect on.
Until next time, keep questioning and maybe be kind to any turkeys you meet.